What it do, E-World? Crisscross some wires. Trying to see myself. I guess I'm right. Good morning time, good evening time, good afternoon time, whatever the case may be in your part of the world. Man, it's been raining the last couple of days. Everything is just a mess. I didn't want to bring my bike out because I knew it was going to be muddy around the back, and no question about that. I had to wheel this thing through some mud, and when I go to take it back in the house, I'm definitely going to have to spray off my tires and all that extra mess that I didn't really want to do, but I wanted to go for a ride. Anyway, we just gonna be chilling and cruising again today, man. No high speed until I'm ready to do some damage. And it's a little nippy, and I really don't think I'm dressed properly with this little fleece jacket. It felt fine until I started moving, and now it ain't fine. But anyway, I'ma say this to say, man, I just don't know, fellas. You know, I guess I could get a new generation some props, because they are next level when it comes to everything, including you know, hate. I mean, I just don't know where all this hate is coming from, you know, and I just don't get it, because I don't know, that my generation. Now, don't get me wrong, we got haters. We had haters. There's always gonna be haters. But these modern haters, they super haters. They hate us to the fifth power. Anyway, it is what it is. Man, look at that mud. Big old piece of mud just flipped up off my tire. Yeah, that could have been bad. That could have been in my grill. Lucky it wasn't in my grill. That wouldn't have been too cool. Y'all would have had a nice laugh. But man, we don't want to be on the laughing. And man, I definitely need another jacket. Oh my goodness. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, either. Yeah, this definitely ain't gonna be no high-speed video. I'm just gonna be cruising. Let's see. I had a few things I wanted to talk about. I surely can't recall them at this particular time. This is kind of old school right here. With those that been on my channel for a minute, I used to make these little rides around the parking lot and you know, discuss what I was doing. So I guess we can you know, take it back to the old school for a few. I ain't even see the people down there. Got somebody on the side of the road. So yeah, I think it's best that we just we chill, even though we got our pedals on today. But yeah, we gonna stay in chill mode. Man, another thing I want to highlight again, and I do it all the time, But I really want you guys to pay attention to those negative numbers. Those negative numbers is regen. And notice I'm still coasting, but I'm making power. BITI hit me up. I'm gonna have to holler back at you, BITI. You gonna be in this video, buddy, because I'm pretty sure that GoPro got you. But yeah, man, anytime I'm not on the throttle, I'm making power. And man, let me tell you, man, if you don't have your regen set up properly like that, you don't know what you're missing. Now just think about that. Just think about that for a minute. Whenever you're not on the throttle, your bike is charging, basically. Now, I'm gonna tell you like this. When you have a 5 amp charger in your house, and yeah, you're charging 5 amps at 72 volts is about 350 watts, around that range. You know, I'm sure those numbers are perfecto, but around that. So just imagine, like I said, let me see, is my math right on that? Yeah, 5 amps times 72 volts, yeah, around 350-ish watts. So you'll see times, like right now I'm not going that fast. That's like 120 watts right there. But easily, when I'm actually going, got some speed up, and I'm coasting, you can see the amps right there too. But man, let me tell you, that's a nice piece of charge going back in my battery, man. I mean, anytime I am not on the throttle, my bike is charging, whether it's a little bit or a lot. Now, that's just regen. Now let me show you something. When I hit the e-brake, it's like 10 times that amount of power. Watch this. Now I ain't going that fast, but this is e-brake. See that? It was up to like almost 1900, 2000 watts. I mean, that's a lot of charge right there. At 1900, let's see, let's round it off to 2100. Let's keep them even numbers. 2100 watts divided by 72. I mean, that's almost like 30 amps. 30 amps of charge when I hit the e-brake. So of course that's not all the time, but when you figure that just cruising like I'm doing now, man, I'm not even breaking 20 miles per hour. But imagine if you were on a group ride and you're doing 30, 40 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, and every time you get off the throttle, you charging while everybody else is just constantly burning their battery. I mean, think about that. Because what I used to always hear was guys saying, you know, I don't know what type of e-bikers these were or DIY guys they were, but they used to always say, oh, I'm not gonna use my regen because I don't live in a hilly environment. Well, why do you think you need to live in a hilly environment to use a Regen? Now, check this out. This is the difference between having your Regen set right and not having it set right. Now, if you got your Regen set to too many amps, your Regen is almost going to act like your e-brake and pretty much be stopping you. Okay? You don't want to set your Regen to 20, 30 amps, or sometimes they're in percentage. You don't want to set that to a higher percentage. I mean, my Regen is set to a very low number. If I can remember correctly, I mean, I could go look and tell you exactly what it is. But it's low as far as the Regen. People mix up Regen and e-brake. It's two different things. Regen is, like I say, whenever you're not giving it throttle, when you're coasting, your motor is turning, so it's acting as a generator and it's making power. Okay? Now, depending on how high you have that set, is how much it may slow your bike down. As far as your coasting, it's not going to affect your top speed or your acceleration while you're on the throttle. Regen and your throttle do not work at the same time. That's impossible. That would be an idiotic thing. That would, you know, for whatever engineer designed that, if he designed the Regen and the throttle to work at the same time, that would be idiotic, because your motor would constantly be fighting resistance. No, your Regen only engages when you're not on the throttle. Now, if you set that to a nice low number, whether it's percentage or amps, depending on your controller, some of them are amps, some of them are percentage, but if you set it nice and low, you'll hardly notice any change between your regular coasting ability and when you have Regen on. Now, you know, if you got it set too much, when you get off the throttle, it feels like you're on the e-brake. Now, the e-brake is working off the same system, but with a lot more power. Now, whereas though, let's just say for hypothetical. Let's say for hypothetical, I have my Regen set at 5%, if we're talking percentage. My e-brake will probably be set at 50 or 60%. Okay? It's a lot stronger of a setting than your Regen. So, yeah. Your e-brake should be strong. That's how it's gonna stop you. Now, like I said, I'm gonna coast down this little hill right here. Give it a little bit of throttle, but then I'm gonna coast. You see that? It's negative right there. Now, if I do it and I apply the e-brake, I think that was like a negative 150 watts. Now, if I do this, I just saw the police sitting over there. If I do this and I hit the e-brake, watch the difference in the power. You see that? But it also is stopping my bike too. 1500 watts. 1500 watts. So just imagine, you have Regen charging your bike almost 50% of the time, every time you're not on the throttle, and when you stop, you're using your e-brake. Now, I have a variable e-brake, which is this thumb throttle over here, a thumb e-brake, It's a variable, just like your throttle. Most of the time, e-brake engages with your motor cutoff. So most people, if you don't have a variable e-brake, when you apply your brakes, when you just barely squeeze your brake, there's a switch. When the switch engages, it engages your e-brake, and whatever you have your e-brake set at, it's just going to give it that fully. So if you have your e-brake set at 20 amps or 20%, when you squeeze your brake over here, it's going to apply 20% or 20 amps. Now with this variable e-brake, that is why I can set mine up a lot higher, like at 60%, 70%, or 60 amps, 70 amps, because when I apply my e-brake, I can apply whatever amount of pressure I want to. That's going to you know, be either a strong amount of of e-brake because of how hard I push on it or how far I push it, or just a little bit. So that is the great thing about a variable e-brake, and I mean, it is a beautiful thing, make no mistake about it. Now if you have an ASI system and you get the GLE integration, that comes with the variable e-brake, comes with it. But you don't have to have the GLE. You can buy, you can always hook yourself up your own e-brake or variable e-brake. But yeah, anyway, like I say, I guarantee you, if you use your Regen and your e-brake properly, if you and someone left on a group ride with the same size everything, same size battery, same size motor, same size controller, you guys were about the same weight and bike, exactly the same. If you had Regen and e-brake and they didn't, I guarantee you, you would finish with 20 to 25% more battery than what they had. No doubt in my mind. And like I said, anytime, I know I'm repeating this, but I want to drill that into your head. Anytime I'm coasting, my bike is making power and charging my battery. And anytime I brake, I don't even hardly use those mechanical brakes. I got some gurus up there, but do I have to use them with this e-brake? No. 90% of my stopping I'm doing with this e-brake. The only reason I actually have to use those mechanical brakes for is to bring me to a dead stop. You know, if I need to stop completely, because the e-brake will bring me all the way down to 5 miles per hour and under. Watch this, and you'll see when it cuts off. It basically almost took me to a dead stop. And that's because I had it all the way engaged. But yeah, and depending on how fast I'm going, you know. But yeah, I have it set to at under 5 miles an hour, it will disengage. But yeah, like as you see, my e-brake basically stops this thing completely, almost to a dead stop, you know. But like I was trying to tell you, any other time, If I get down to under 5 miles per hour and it's just moving and I gotta stop it completely, then I use my mechanical brake. But do you know how much that saves your brake pads? I mean, I can see one set of pads lasted me for honestly a year or two, easy, because I will hardly ever be using it, man. And if I really want to be honest about that, I put on a brand new pair of pads on this bike. They will probably last me for the life of this bike, because that's how little I'm ever going to be using my mechanical brake. So when you have a good e-brake, do you need some really good high-powered mechanical brakes? No, you don't. Now, are they good to have? Absolutely. Because one thing, let me tell you something about the e-brake. It will not give you a whole lot of power if you're going super fast. And I mean like over 60 miles an hour. If you're going that fast, it will slow you down gradually and then give you 100% or whatever you have it set at. The reason why they don't allow it to give you 100% at that speed is because you would probably overcharge your battery, or it would just be too much on your motor. You know, your magnets and your hall sensors and all that, you would probably burn all that stuff up from, you know, your motor trying to stop your bike with your RPMs that high. Now, like I said, that's the controller is smart enough to make sure that you don't do that. It's not going to allow you to give 100% stopping power if you're going 50-60 miles an hour. It's gotta slow you down to you know, a reasonable speed, but it will. Oh, look how we cruising. We cruising down the hill and we charging. Now would I've coasted a little bit further with no regen? Yeah, of course. But like I said, I have it set to a, you know, so good that it's hardly noticeable. You know, the little bit that it's gonna slow me down, it's not gonna affect my riding style at all. So man, it's cold. Gotta get up out of here, y'all. But anyway, you heard the word. Bird, bird, bird. The bird is the word. All right, y'all. Take it easy. Take care. Crisscross and wire. Deuces. We out. Peace.